Good morning, everybody. My name is Tammy, and I'd like to welcome you to Tammy's Stitches. Take 2. Greetings from Maine, everyone. Today is January 9th, 2026, and this is FlossTube number 124. Can't believe I gotta do this all over again. Alright, well, anyway, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who is new here, who has liked and subscribed. I really appreciate it. And my regulars, thank you so much for coming back week after week. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And everybody who has subscribed, whether you're new or regular or whatever, you guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Okay, let's get started, shall we? First off, I have a finish. This is my Christmas candle. I'm not quite sure where I got this. I'm thinking maybe Quaternion Creations. This is done on a 18 count Forbidden Fiber Company Fiber of the Month. It's either Lucky or Santa's Helper. I'm not sure. And I'm using an 18 count. Yeah, I'm using Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red. And this color is just awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love this color. If you ever want to do a monochromatic and just red, I highly suggest Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red. And that took 191 stitches to complete. Sorry. Need my coffee. Alright, now let's get on to these starts. I started this one on, I think it was the 3rd. I think. Yes. This is January Snowdrops from Cottage Garden Samplings, and I started this on January 3rd, 2026, using an 18 count Rit dyed Ada that I dyed myself, so I'm thinking it's denim. Because that's the only color that I've dyed lately. And I'm using the called for floss. And I put a goal of 2,500 stitches, and I've completed 200. And I'm doing the two-tone letters because it's the only thing I could find, the only thing that when I looked at it went with the border. So, and this says, snowflakes are kisses from heaven. And it's got 2 little cardinals on it, so it goes with the For the Birds bingo or For the Birds month for January. And I've got a lot of them in here, so this doesn't fit very well. There we go. Okay, and the other one that I started. Sorry. Is from Cloak Soft, and it is called the Witchy Frolic. And here it is. This is so cute. That was a definite add to cart when I saw it. So, This is The Witchy Frog by Cloak. I started this on January 4th, 2026. I'm stitching it on a 20 count Easy Guide Ada, and I'm using the call for floss. My goal is 5,000 stitches. Now this has 41,209 stitches. I have completed 200 and I am at 0.49%. And here we go. That's the left hand corner, and I'm doing a hopefully either 3x3 square or a 4x4 square. I think it's going to be 4x4. So I'm going to do finish up this one, work on this one, and then work down this way. So right there. So yeah. That is that one. I don't know when I'm gonna pick that up again. But okay. Now I have found out something very hold please. Okay, sorry. I found out something very interesting about my FlossTube friends. Granted, I only have 6 of them, but I can't even get 100 stitches done in an hour. I can get anywhere from 80 to 90 done in an hour. So I'm basically going to change this to 200 right across the board. So anytime anybody does a whip update or a stitch with me, that's going to be just whip updates. So let's do it. Except for Kay, because a lot of K's are stitch with me's. She's got more stitch with me's than she has whip updates. So anyway, so for Laura, Stitching by the Shore, Four Seasons Summer by Soda Stitch Designs. So this will get worked on tomorrow, because that's usually when I work on hers. Because she records on Fridays like I do, but she posts hers and it usually doesn't come up until later on in the afternoon, so it's just easier for me to do it that way. Alright, so this is Four Seasons Summer. I started this on May 30th, 2025. I'm using stitching on an 18 count Confetti Pictures Plus. I'm using the Cloak for DMC. My goal was 2,500 and I've gotten that, so now it's up to a finish. There's 6,258 stitches to complete it, and I have completed 3,170, and I am at 50.66%, so I am halfway done. So that's why this is going to be a finish. And there it is. I worked on this part. So this will get another 200 stitches tomorrow. And all 4 of them are in the same bag because they all take the same colors approximately. And I might have some more frogging out to do. In fact, I know I have more frogging out to do. So that was from my FlossTube friends. So, next is my For the Birds bingo. I got sorry to get rid of some of these. Get them done and get rid of them. I'm telling you. Oh, come on, where are you? Oh my lord. Oh. Okay, this is my dapper chap, and the artist is Sydney Eaton. And I don't remember what website I got this off of, but it was like, oh, they had a big sale right before Christmas, and I think it was like less than $1. Let's see. But he's very, very cute. He really is. He's very cute. So, this is the Dapper Chap. I started it on August 19th, 2025. Sorry. And I'm stitching it on a 20 count easy guide, and I'm using the call for DMC. My goal is 5,000 stitches. Out of 25,480, I have completed 1,000. So I'm at 3.92%. And I know this is on my bird bingo, for the birds bingo, one more time this month, so I should get another 200 stitches. So I'm going to try to fill in. Fill in from here all the way down and across. And granted, this is brown, brown, and more brown, but I think it looks really good. And the leaves are starting to, the leaves that were in the picture are starting to come out a little bit. There's that one. So this one will stay in my storage bin. Okay, and I did get a message from the lovely Kay. She saw my progress because I posted this on Zanna Crosswell site, and I think she might have seen it in my FlossTube because I mentioned her, because I did this on the 2nd and I also worked on it on the 4th, because those were the days that the number for the Celtic Owl were spun for. And if I can find it. Oh, come on, where are you? Back up this way, not that far down. Right there. So, this is by Zanna Crosswell. This is the Celtic Owl. And it is beautiful. And it is such a joy to work on. It really is. It's one of my favorite full coverages to work on. This is the Celtic Owl by Zanna Crosswell, and I started this on November 29th, 2025. I'm stitching on a 25 count 1/1, and I'm using the call for floss. My goal is 5,000. There is 122,500 stitches to complete it, and I have completed 655, and I am at 0.53%. And I have a few ninja stitches that I have to fill in, but I am loving this. So I'm going to be going down this way and across and getting that section filled in. That doesn't show up anymore, but like I said, Kay did a stitch with me the other day, so I've got to put 200 more stitches in that. Try to do that this weekend. The next one that came up was Owl Hollow. I don't have a picture for this one, but this is from the Stitcherhood, and I need to figure out where I went astray. And here's where I am. I finished the whole side, this whole side of border, finished the top, and I'm going down this side. And this is with Anchor Black and Porpoise. My goal is to finish it, and I have completed 1,000 stitches, and I started this on October 16th, 2024, and I'm using a 16 count ledger, which I do believe is by either Bestitch Me or Forbidden Fiber Company. I'm not quite sure. But this one is going to go into my finish file. I organized, for the most part, all my whips. I UFO'd a few, well actually I didn't even UFO them, I just chucked them because I was done. So those are all going to be resticks, the ones that are chucked. And so I have a finish box, 2 whip boxes, and a full coverage. My gnomes for the year, and any they get traded out. There's one that gets traded out for the next month's bingo. Alright, the next one I did was the one I started when I started doing that walking challenge that got cut short because of my doctor, because he was being his normal nasty self. I start seeing a new doctor in March. I can't wait. Alright, where is it? Ah, right there. This is the Silly Songbirds. I don't remember where I got this from. Oh, hush. Oh, it's another Sydney Eaton. But, might tell me. Nope, just says Sydney Eaton. Okay. Well, at least you know where it comes from. I started this on July 1st, 2025. I'm stitching it on an 18 count Verdant Earth, and I'm using the Cloak DMC. My goal is 6,200 stitches. It has 28,224 stitches, and I have completed 1,824, and I am at 2.46%. I want to finish up this so I can get another corner in, and then we'll see where I go from there. I might pull this out again to work on it just to get that corner complete. I'm not sure yet. Okay. What's this one? Did I work on this one? No, I didn't. The next one I worked on was my very first Gnome Go for 2026. I'm very happy about that. I love my Gnome Go. When I organized everything, I couldn't find this one. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to start it over. And then I come to find out it was hidden behind me, underneath a few things. I happened to catch the bag. I was like, oh god. Because it not only had my chamomile tea gnome, it had another one. So there is my chamomile tea gnome with no backstitching. And he definitely needs some backstitching. Sorry about that. It's the first time in a while I've heard one of those go by. Usually for a while there it was every week. So this is the chamomile tea gnome from Cute Broidery. My favorite gnome on Etsy. I started this on May 24th, 2025. I do believe this is part of my Gnome Frenzy weekend, which was Memorial Weekend. I'm doing this on an 18 count title Ada, and I'm using the Cloak for DMC. My goal is 2,500 stitches. There is 5,502. I have done 950, and I am at 17.27%. And I'm going to pull this out to get the last 200 stitches because my gnomes are 400 stitches. And Lucy, I hope you're watching. But yeah, so this is, I worked on the hat. And it is. Chamomile tea gnome. Okay. Now, the next one I worked on, and I did try a little bit, put this on my Lowry stand for a little bit, and tried to do it two-handed. I was successful for part of it, but when my arm got tired, I was like, okay, I need to get a good position for it. So there is the deer and owl, and this one will come out again this month, and it'll also come out, I think, maybe twice next month. I'm not quite sure. And I'm gonna try to, my ultimate goal is to get this finished by December 31st, 2026. So it needs to come out as much as humanly possible. And I put in, so this is Deer and Owl by Nara X Stitch. Started this on December 31st, 2024. I'm stitching it on a 16 count white Ada, and I'm using the Cloak for DMC. My goal is 2,000. I have surpassed that, so I'm working on another 2,000, and I am at 3,258 stitches complete. And what did I do? Well, I put in a couple more lines of the deer, and then I started filling in this. But it goes down further, so I have to print the rest of this off. Because it is a paper pattern. So, that is that one. Now, Lee from Stitch Strings and Other Things she posted a new video the other day. And so I worked on, I don't have a picture for this side, I worked on my Nevermore sampler, or Nevermore Quaker. Okay. So this is Nevermore Quaker, and it also had a bird on it, so I replaced what I had for number 25 on my bingo for this. This is from Lila Studios. Restarted it on November 19th. 2025. I'm doing it on a 25 count Stormy Night 1/1, and I'm using the called for floss. There is 15,443 stitches to complete it. I have completed 4,400, sorry, and I'm at 2.59%. And my goal for this is 5,000. So that, and I need to frog out some of this. But I did get 200 and what? No, just 200 stitches. I got 209 on the note. 200 for deer and owl. So this is also Lee stick strings and other things. Her whip from my FlossTube friends. She also has this whip. So if she works on it on one of her floss tubes, for one of her floss tubes, I might add an extra 100 stitches. I don't know, but all the floss tube friends are going to be 200 stitches across the board, and just for their whips. But considering their whip updates, but considering Kay does more stitch with me's than she does whip updates, or I'll never get the owl done. And that's quite alright. Okay, now, next. My whip of the week is Alice in Wonderland by Miss Peggotty. It looks like in the next section I complete should be some flamingo. Yay! Something other than peach, white, and greens. Ugh. That's okay. This is also for Siski, and the reason that I'm doing this for Siski is because she has a whip that's called Flamingo Fantastico, and it's beautiful. It's done on black fabric. It's got a lot of flowers. You know, it's very Siski. So I was doing the flower fox, but it's just too hard to see, and I need to get a different pink, or do a different background color that's easier to see. So this is Alice and the Flamingo by Miss Peggotty. I started this on September 12th, 2025. I'm stitching on a 20 count Easy Guide 8 out, and I'm using the Cloak DMC. My goal is 5,000. It'll take 34,344 stitches to complete, and I have gotten the grand total of 1,600, and I'm at 4.66%. And my goal for the week was 1,000, and I got that and then some. So if Siski posts on Sunday, Monday morning, this will come out, and I will put 200 stitches in it. Whoop. So this is Alice and the Flamingo, and this whole section here is 100%. There is no ninja stitches. There's nothing. And I got 1,049 stitches done. And where it had a bird on it, Now, I did get a few new things, but I'm not going to worry about them right now. And I do have some plans for the Lunar New Year, but once I get a good picture of it, I will show it to you. But 2026, on February 17th, 2026, the Lunar New Year is the year of the horse. Now, I'm not a big horse person, but I found one that I really like, and I think that's going to be my start for that day. And it goes for the whole year. Now, you're probably wondering why I didn't do it last year. Well, because 2025 was Year of the Snake. No. Not happening, never will. I've got one whip that has 2 little snakes on the side, and that's Bellatrix. Goth Girl Bellatrix. And that's going to be hard enough for me to do on the frame. Oh, just the thought. Oh, makes me ill. It really does. My stomach starts rolling, and can't handle snakes. So, never seen one from me. So anyway, but yeah, so that's that. Now, I did roll the finish, but it's not something I really want to do, which is the carrot market. I much rather get my March quicker done, and I have no idea. I'd look for it, and I can't find it, so I'm going to have to look for it again. Once I get everything reorganized. Because they're all in the same bag. I have October, November, April, September, March, all in the same bag. So I've got to get those all. So that I'll work on that for finish, because I'd like to get it finished before March, because I do have January and February done. So I would like to get March and April done. May, June, July, and August are not even started. September, October, and November are started. December is completed. So, alright, so let's see. So, I am going to work on my bingo, and today's spin is the owls. And I started, this is Owls by Robin Hunter. I started this on November 21st, 2024, using an 18 count easy guide, using the call for floss. My goal is 5,000 stitches. There is 35,064 stitches. Out of that, I have completed 2,780 stitches, and I am at 7.93% complete. And here it is. So what I want to try to do is get these stripes going this way done, and then go over this way and get these stripes that are going this way done. So I'll have 2 sections of stripes complete. Plus work on, because this is the box where the owls go, the faces go. And there are 3 boxes of stripes going this way, and 4 boxes of stripes going this way, I think. Yes. So I'd like to get those done, or work on some of those stripes. So that'll be either, today or tomorrow. Work on the bingo whenever I get 200 stitches in it. And I already spun for tomorrow, and it's number 13. And everybody knows what number 13 is. This is it. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. Number 13 on my bingo is Frank's Monster from the Art Revivalist, and it is charted by Stitches So Beautiful. And Frank, I know you have a card. Yes, right there. I started this on October 15th, 2025. I'm stitching it on a 25 count Easy Guide 1/1, and I'm using the called for DMC. My goal is 5,000. There is 62,500 stitches. Out of that, I've completed 1,440, and I am at 2.30%. So I'm going to try to get at least 200 stitches plus to get some to even it out. There he is. So it's still all blue, and that's perfectly fine with me. And I would like to join one of the Stitches So Beautiful monthly challenges, but I can't figure out what they want from me. So it's like, So there's that. Nope. Alrighty. So, my weekly whip is the Mad Hatter, which is and the reason that I'm working on the Mad Hatter The reason I'm working on the Mad Hatter is because it has birds in his hat and around his hat. There's 4 of them. We're talking here, 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 and here. So yeah, and there he is. And his starting point is, let me find it. Okay, this is the Mad Hatter, and I restarted him on August 13th, 2025. This is also from Miss Peggotty. The first one was downloaded incorrectly into Pattern Keeper. The second one I tried on 32 count, and it came out terrible. And so I went to 20 count, and I have been fine so far. Okay, this, and I'm using the call for DMC. My goal is 5,000. There's 23,219 stitches, and I have completed 418, and I am at 1.80%, or 80%, and there it is. So I'm going to take 2 blocks right here. Do a small 4 block section, and then when I get those done, continue on. My goal for this is 1,000 stitches, so we will see. Okay, now my FlossTube friends, I've changed a couple things. As you know, I changed Siski to Alice. So, FlossTube friends for 2026. There's Laura Stitching by the Shore. Hers is 4th Season Summer by Soda Stitch Designs. I have 50% of that done. Lee from Stick, Strings, and Other Things is Nevermore Sampler by Lila Studios. I have finished. I am at 2.59%. FlossTube Friends K, the Stitchy Pfeiffer. Hers is Celtic Owl by Zanna Crosswell, and I have finished 0.53%. Siski from Siski Stitches is Alice and the Flamingo by Miss Peggotty. As of today, I am at 4.66%, and I have everything for the whole week right now. Jessie Marie does stuff. Jessie from Jessie Marie does stuff. Is seasonal books from Moonlit Patterns. I haven't started it yet, but I will this month. And then we have Anne, the Max Color Stitcher, and hers is the Cheshire Cat by Miss Peggotty, and I have that out in the other room right now. And to finish it, I need 23,220 stitches, and I've completed 316, and I am at 1.63%, and I'm going to watch her for a little bit today, hopefully, and work on this one, and hopefully get a couple hundred, maybe 300 or 400 stitches. I don't know. We'll see. So that is Max. Anne, Max Color Stitcher. So Miss Peggotty's are hopefully going to get some work. Okay, and then the only other thing I have is January weekly focuses, which I have to write how many I completed and the percent. And from January 5th to January 9th was Alice, so I have to put that in there. And then from January 12th to the 16th will be the Mad Hatter. From January 19th to the 23rd will be Miss Peggotty's Queen of Hearts. And even though there's no birds, I'm just going to go with it because they're all the same. From the same designer, I guess you could say. And then, so I think weekly focuses are going to be the same designer. Did I do Motif Monday? No, I did not. I thought about it and I didn't really want to start anything. Didn't want to start that one. So I decided to move not do a Motif Monday for this month. Do one next month possibly. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the either Deer and the Owl or the Bear and the Owl. Alright, and then from the 26th to the 30th it will be the Cheshire Cat. So, yeah. So there's that. Other than that, I really don't have anything else. My daughter started rehearsal again for a new play. So we're looking at more late nights, but whatever. Hopefully she finishes her driving class on the 20th. So she can get her learner's permit and start driving with us. I asked the teacher if Valium came with the $700, and he's like, what? Just wondering. I mean, I want her to learn how to drive. I really do. And I want her to have a little bit of freedom to go where she wants to go. But I am scared to death because I know what other drivers are like. And they like to pull out in front of you and turn at the next road. If they see a motorcycle coming, and I know this from experience, they'll pull out in front of you when you're like this close. You know, they do the same. I cannot stand people who pull out in front of me when I'm like, almost to where they are, and they just say, "Oh, okay, I'll just," you know. and then I'll turn at the first left or the first right after that. That ticks me off more than anything in the world. Really does. Really, really does. There are other things that people do. There are things that my husband does that absolutely annoy the crap out of me. I thought my husband was going to push somebody off the road. Literally. He was like this far from their bumper. If they had stopped quick, we would have crashed. And I was a week out from open heart surgery. I had finally gotten home. I did not want to go to the hospital again. Because the reason that I couldn't drive for a while was because that in case an airbag got deployed, it would break. It could make my sternum open up again. We didn't want that. No. So that's why you can't drive right away after you've had surgery. So yeah, I thought my husband was going to run somebody off the road. I really did. I do not drive. When my husband and I go anywhere, I drive. I don't care. I am not going to go through all that. So anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and a productive Stitchy week. And I will hopefully see you next Friday. And I hope everybody just keeps on stitching on. Bye.